What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. On the last part to the series, we saw a familiar villain return, that being Cell. Despite being empowered by allies from Hell, Cell ended up losing due to a combined effort from the fighters on Earth. We got to see Raditz show off Super Saiyan Blue for the first time, a brand new sight for all the fighters on Earth, and also, we got to see the first fusion, one of Gohan and Piccolo, but will they be able to defuse? Let's find out in this episode. For this part, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes, and once we hit that, I'll continue with another part to this story. Anyways, let's pick up from here. The last part ended with Champa's arrival on Beerus's planet, and this means next we'll be going to the Universe 6 tournament. Luckily for everyone else, during this conversation, Gohan and Piccolo end up defusing. That's a huge relief. Right away, the group already has a great team. Champa says it's cheating if Piccolo is involved since he is a Supreme Kai, but pretty much anyone else is fair game. Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and Bardock are instantly on the team. The next choice could either be Gohan or Ruta. Ruta kinda has her hands full right now because 17 needs to have surgery and repairs to install his engine again, and Bulma mentions that it's a gross process, and it'll take some time for 17 to get back to full form. So, Gohan gets involved instead. Don't worry though, we'll see some more of Ruta later. As for her, she definitely has some catching up to do, after seeing Raditz reveal Super Saiyan Blue, as well as knowing that everyone on Beerus's planet has access to it, she realizes that she needs to step her game up. She'd rather remain on Earth, but even with that, she can still train for this form. She wishes she could have been part of the tournament though, it would have been pretty fun. But maybe next time though. That settles it. They have their 5 members and the team is pretty stacked. Everyone is pretty much on the track for the same things too. Bardock, Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz already have blue, so they continue to train with that. And they also help Gohan try and access it. And this gives Goku a great idea. Gohan may not be able to access it in the time before the tournament, so instead, they're gonna go in the Room of Spirit in time. Just for a day because Gohan doesn't really want to age too much. While in here, Goku's able to find out about Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, while Gohan ends up accessing Super Saiyan Blue, and he seems pretty strong. The two have a fight and Goku's amazed. He didn't know Gohan could reach this level. He's been so focused on training with the other 3 that he forgot about everyone on Earth, including Gohan and his sister. Goku begins realizing something. He should probably be visiting them more after the tournament. But also, he has a question for Gohan. He asked if he wants to stay in for another day, since Gohan already grew remarkably fast, and Goku wants to test his limit. It takes some convincing, but Gohan ends up agreeing. He's actually interested too, he wants to see how far he can go. Plus, if he stays in a few extra days, maybe he'll learn some stuff from Goku that he didn't know before. As for everyone else, they continue their training on the outside, getting some quality family time in too. Time passes and the tournament itself begins. It's not really anything crazy. The first fight is Bardock vs Potamo, and Bardock wins. The next fight is Bardock vs Frost, and Bardock isn't playing around here, especially because of who Frost is. He can see right through the act. And Bardock wins. Bardock is up against Vegeta next. And even though he physically can't hurt Vegeta, I'm sure Bardock can come up with some pretty good insults. So, by doing that, Bardock wins again. Everyone in the crowd watches on. Champa's in disbelief. How are his fighters being defeated so easily? Beerus of course is happy. Bardock's just sweeping everyone. And as for the other Universe 7 fighters, they're a little sad about it. They want a chance to fight too. It's not really fair that Bardock gets to have all the fun out there. I mean, they're winning, but still. They wish they had a chance to fight. Next up, Bardock faces Kaba. Obviously he saw Kaba before the tournament, and now he's realizing how crazy it is to see another Saiyan, one from another universe. It's weird, the Saiyan doesn't have a tail, and he looks really young and skinny, nothing like the average Universe 7 Saiyan. Plus, it turns out these Saiyans are actually good people, with a remarkably different history than Universe 7. Interested by this, Bardock decides to test Kaba's power, intrigued with how strong he is, but surprised to find out that he doesn't have Super Saiyan. So, Bardock ends up helping him unlock this, pretty much like Vegeta did. Given how Bardock is as a person, I feel like this is a likely outcome. He'd probably help Kaba get Super Saiyan in a similar way to what Vegeta did. Basically just with brute force. But even with Super Saiyan, it's not enough. Kaba loses, but Bardock looks forward to seeing him again. Bardock's on a great streak right now. He already took down 4 fighters, and there's only 1 left. After this, they win. He's actually gotten a little too confident. He's seen the rest of the team and they're very weak in comparison to the next fighter, that being Hit. Bardock is quickly able to find out how strong Hit is. His base isn't enough, Super Saiyan's not enough. All the other Super Saiyan forms don't do the job either. Even with Blue, it doesn't work. Something about Hit's strength and abilities, it really trips him up. Through his brute strength and his time-skipping techniques, Hit of course takes the win here, being able to defeat Bardock relatively easily. This comes as a shock to everyone else. Bardock's no slouch, he shouldn't have lost here. That must mean this Hit guy is really strong. And the next one up is Vegeta. In terms of power, he's relatively similar to Bardock. And now he knows a bit about Hit's techniques, although he doesn't really know too much about how they work. The thing is here, Vegeta pretty much knows that this is a losing battle. He doesn't overpower Hit enough, nor does he know enough about Hit's abilities to counter him. But Vegeta has a strategy. They have 3 fighters left, and Vegeta knows that even if he loses this, he can get some valuable info for everyone else. So, instead of trying to win, he drags the fight on as long as possible, seeing Hit's weaknesses and openings, trying to figure out what anyone else could possibly do to defeat him. And he's able to get some great info, although inevitably, Hit of course is going to be the one to take the win here. Vegeta has no real plan to win. But his idea worked. He was able to get some info, and he tells the rest of the fighters about what he saw. Hit's movements, his openings, how his attacks work and his fighting style. Vegeta got more than enough info, and this will be valuable for the next fighter, which is Gohan. Hit's a little bored now. Another Saiyan? What do they think they're going to do this time? The group looks on, wondering what Gohan's going to do. He's been training, yes, but it hasn't been as intense as everyone else. Plus, how strong could he have gotten over the few days before the tournament? Well, Goku actually kept this kind of a secret, but he tells everyone that he's been training with Gohan for 2 days. Not a normal 2 days either, no, in the room of spirit and time no less. Sure, that's impressive to everyone, 2 years of training, but will it be enough? The group then sees some of Gohan's full power, surprising everyone as he goes into Super Saiyan Blue. Hit's not too impressed, this isn't the first time he's seen it. But the group didn't know he could access it. Although it's not too unexpected, he did have 2 years of training with Goku after all. But they're still skeptical, how will this be enough? Goku tells everyone, the 2 of them came up with something great together, and asks if they remember the Kaioken. The other Saiyans do know about it by now, and they think it's useless due to the strain that it gives Goku. It's been surpassed by every other form though, and it's only useful for a brief burst in power. So they just kind of view it as useless at this point. It's a big risk, but Goku says they found a way to bring it back somehow. The group's confused. They? Goku laughs and he tells them to watch. Gohan remarkably is able to keep up with Hit somewhat, but it's still not enough. Even with Vegeta's information, there's just something about Hit's time skip that Gohan can't counter. He simply is not fast enough. Hit's impressed that Gohan knows his strategy, but he assures Gohan that it won't be enough. But Gohan tells Hit, this isn't his full power. He has something up his sleeve above Super Saiyan Blue even, although it's only something he can use for a short time. And he's not entirely sure it'll work. The group instantly knows what he's talking about. There's no way. But Goku confirms, in those 2 years, he taught Gohan something new. Gohan begins powering up as he then shouts Kaioken, going into Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue. The group is amazed, and even Gohan's a bit surprised. It was a really risky technique, but he's glad it worked. And his power has greatly increased, as well as his speed and all his other abilities. In Blue Kaioken times 10, he's able to completely outpace Hit. Regardless of Hit's time skip, it's not enough. Gohan is just too fast now, and too strong. And Gohan knows he can't screw around here. Hit clearly is a dangerous foe, and the Kaioken isn't going to last forever. He needs to work as quickly as possible to defeat him, and he does. Gohan's able to knock Hit out of the ring, taking the win for this round and the win for Universe 7. Beerus is impressed, but also realizes Goku probably has the same thing. Not to mention, now that both of them are so strong, they hid this from him. It's a way that they may be able to surpass him. He's not too pleased about it. But whatever, it helped them win the tournament, so he holds his tongue. The tournament itself ends pretty normally. Zeno comes in, the wish is made to restore Earth in Universe 6, and everyone goes back home. All pretty standard here, but while that goes normally, what follows isn't going to go the same as it did in canon. I'm referring to the next arc right after this. Zamasu has been watching, and he sees all these Saiyans and begins researching them. But Zamasu assumes that he can't hold his power for long, seeing how it affected Gohan afterwards. He assumes that Super Saiyan Blue is flawed, rather than Blue Kaioken, since Gohan barely fought in Blue at all. He looks at the rest of the fighters. Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz showed nothing amazing, and 2 of them didn't even fight. Bardock had a good showing, but he was defeated really easily by one of those other mortals. One with a very interesting ability, that one being Hit, a mortal playing with time, for his own gain and for his own power. How disgusting, and yet somewhat intriguing. The power definitely seems like something valuable. And it mocks the gods just as much as the godly power that the Saiyans use, if not more. And Zamasu realizes, if he could use this power for himself, it would be very helpful. He'd only need to make one wish, that being to become immortal. So, what's going to happen here with Trunks? Well, he's actually safe for now. That's because there's not going to be any timeline meddling. The only thing Zamasu needs to do is to go into the future and use the Super Dragon Balls. And once he becomes immortal, that's all the time travel he needs. Isn't he going to steal someone's body though? Well, there's no need to. He considered stealing Hit's body, but then he realized, Hit's an assassin. He definitely doesn't have any strict moral guidelines either. He just does whatever who he works for wants him to. And this could be very useful, so he decides he's going to recruit Hit as an ally. The first thing he does is travel Universe 6, killing the Supreme Kai there, which kills Champa in the process. He can't take any risk whatsoever. This allows him to find Hit with no issues and without being noticed by anyone important. And he ends up hiring Hit to kill all of those fighters in Universe 7, the ones that are too strong for Zamasu to defeat himself. But there is one thing though. something that Zamasu keeps to himself. He's obviously not going to be allied with Hit forever. Once Hit kills the Saiyans in Universe 7, Zamasu will turn on him and work on his own. But he'll actually have to find a way to defeat Hit. For now, Hit is just the means to an end. Of course, Zamasu doesn't say this out loud, but Hit is pretty much expendable to him. Hit doesn't care who the target is, he's just surprised that Akai is doing it. But he doesn't ask questions, he takes the payment and he's ready to do it. One day, in Universe 7, everyone suddenly senses a huge increase in power. It's coming from Gohan, it looks like. And then it ends up disappearing really quick. Sure, he could have just been training, but that doesn't seem right. Why would he power up so rapidly and so briefly? You know, it may be best to check on him. Those who do have the ability to teleport decide to go over there. Goku arrives, followed by Bardock and then Ruta, with some of the other fighters trying to fly over. And it's weird, when they use instant transmission, they ended up in a public space. People are running away as cops begin swarming the area, including Krillin of course. Why would Gohan need to power up in a public place like this? They're wondering what's happening. Looking for his energy and they can't sense anything at all. But when Krillin arrives, he tells them that some altercation occurred. He didn't even know Gohan was involved until now. It seemed like there was some sort of murder. Oh, that kind of relieves everyone. Maybe Gohan was just acting as the Great Saiyan trying to stop the murderer. But their happiness quickly fades as they then see who it was. Nearby, someone familiar then walks out. It's Hit. Wait, Hit? What's he doing here in Universe 7? He doesn't look too happy either, but they look past Hit and see behind him. Lying on the ground nearby is Gohan's corpse. Hit has completed his first assassination on Gohan, and his next targets are right in front of him. As Hit slowly approaches, this is where we'll leave off for now. So what did you guys think about this part? How do you think the next arc will go, now that Hit is involved? And do you think our heroes will stand a chance against him and Zamasu? How will all this damage be restored? Leave all your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And once we hit that like goal, I'll continue with another part to the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.